Hi there, tech enthusiasts and hiring mavens. I am AI Simp, and today in this session, we're going to slide through the daunting task of sorting resumes with something truly game-changing. It's an AI interview system designed for precision and efficiency. Let's explore this innovation together. Envision yourself facing a sea of resumes. They're endless, yet not always reflective of true potential of the applicants. That is the challenge, isn't it? How do we discern the gem from the generic? How do we turn the chore of sifting into something more scientific and more reliable? Enter the AI interview bot, our smart, impartial player in the hiring game. His job to effortlessly pluck the finest candidates from the crowd with precision that goes beyond what any standard assessment might capture. Now don't worry, if AI is not your daily bread, you don't have to be a coding whiz. I promise by the end of our tutorial, you'll be equipped to deploy this AI bot with finesse of a tech connoisseur. We'll begin our journey by gathering the simplest yet most effective tools on the market. Trust me, they are remarkably user-friendly and they require zero coding skills. These tools will serve as basis for the AI interview system, providing both functionality and seamless experience you are aiming for. So let's deconstruct our applicant screening process. First, you will advertise your position in a talent pool, such as on the website such as Upwork, TopTal, or any community, Facebook, whatever. Basically, the way you could screen these applicants is at the end of your post, you'll just provide a little link that they'll press and then they'll be forwarded to the screening application, right? After they fill out a little form that looks like this, you could define any type of fields you want, any information you want to gather at the point before the person starts getting interviewed. So this way, if you like the person, you have the information to basically get in contact with them, right? Once the person fills out this information, they'll enter into the interview mode and the AI will start talking to them. How does it look? It looks about like this. All right, try our demo. I will leave, well, I'm scared. But I will leave a little link in the description below. What I like about this solution, dialme, versus the other solutions I've tried, I start playing with this demo. I was impressed of how fast it actually interacts with you. Because what it does, as you're speaking, it already starts transcribing and getting ready to answer back to you. So it's pretty cool. It basically does a streaming function where a lot of other applications, they're not doing the streaming and on-fly transcription of the sound. They wait until the whole message is done, and that's why you have that delay. But yeah, give it a try. It's really cool. And what happens after? They will basically go to this dialme platform where they will have the interview, and we'll have a real big demo at the end of this session. All right, so dialme has lots of different AI integrations inside of it. If the applicant hasn't answered the question properly or hasn't provided information to the fullest extent, the AI will ask question again, and sometimes it rephrases the question just to get a little bit better quality answer out of an applicant, which is very unique skill that usually done by humans, right? Once it collects all the data and transcribes it and puts it in a nice JSON format, it does what it does next. It saves it in the platform, so you could actually go and look at the platform and see how many people applied. It basically creates responses and you could export it as CSV. After that, our system will use a webhook function to send in the summary and the scripts from the interview to Make. So what is Make? It's the glue that connects different applications together. You don't need to code at all. So it's like a no-code connector, similar to Zapier, but it's like 10 times cheaper. And it's just as fast. So Make, even though the AI assistants by OpenAI were released about a month ago, Make already have integration with AI assistants, so you don't even need to code or host anything or pay for anything to use AI assistants. Pretty sweet. Here you go. So we have AI Assistant by OpenAI. I created AI Assistant. Took 5 minutes, maybe even less, to create like a rough version of what the interviewer will do. So basically we have one bot that is here at dialme platform that does the interview and collects information. Then we have a second bot that could have completely different set of skills. And also this bot could have functions as running a background check on the person or collecting like Google information, Googling the person, or checking using the LinkedIn. Like, you could bake a lot of functionality into this AI assistant. It is pretty impressive of what they created. This one, the one we have, it just basically just reads through the interview, reads through the questions and answers, and then grades every answer and provides explanation of how good the quality of the answer was. Okay, since we use GPT-4 for this process, after the data basically gets processed and AI provides its own feedback, the new AI process data now available and it's sent back to Make. And Make, we put information in Google Sheets and then we put information in Slack. Why? Because in Slack, you will know instantly when the new applicant submitted the application and the new applicant went through the interview. You don't have to, especially if you work in Slack on a daily basis, you don't have to go to Google Sheet. But since I already use Slack for my daily conversations with my employees, what I did is I created a new channel in Slack, and the moment the new application gets delivered, it basically lights up and it gives you the ability to go and check it out really quick. All right, so that's very fast, and that makes you happy. Like, it makes me happy. Instead of spending 40, 30, like I remember when I was hiring a lot of people, I was spending at least 20 hours a week. A lot of things could have been like weeded out very early in the process. So this way I wouldn't have to spend my time of scheduling, waiting, having conversation, and feeling guilty if I stopped talking to them too early because, just being a good human. This system easily could weed out 80% of people who are not probably the best match. Let's see. So how are we going to achieve this? Let's go really quick. So first, dialme dashboard. You say basically create interview. You say start from scratch. And you could use template option. This is what I did. I did pre-screening for a software developer. Okay, so this is basically this guy over here. Okay, let me show you what it looks like on the inside. Edit interview. So here you go. You have all this, answer all this question, ask questions. You could select different people's voices. All right, and that you could ask questions at the end. And also, you see that's basically how it's gonna look like. Cool. All right. Also, you could say yes or no to the questions you want to ask before the interview starts, which is a very handy feature. So once this information gets collected, you put your hook. So there's a webhook that we'll use in order to get information from your dialme, right? So once we get information into Make, it's very simple. So the hook comes from here. So you copy paste this into the dialme. Oh, there. So this is gonna go here. This is basically the hook. You will take it from here. And then once the hook comes in, you basically will OpenAI chat. You will need an API for this. All right, this is the only cost you'll have is OpenAI API, and now it's very cheap. I think from creating this video and testing everything cost me like less than $1. So if you make more than 50 cents an hour, this is a good investment. All right, here you go. And as you see, you could select whatever model you want. It's really cool. Like it's beautiful. And I have many different assistants here that I created. So how do we get here, right? So let me show you. So assistants, here you go. So this is my virtual assistant hiring AI. Okay, you're the virtual assistant. Yeah, it's basically easy prompt. I don't have any extra functions, but you could have extra functions here. You could also have files. This is your RAG system, right? Retrieval augmentation generation. So basically, if you have some sort of specific knowledge for your industry that you want your client, your person to have, for instance, you are medical supplies and you are looking for talent that uses a certain type of software that you're using or familiar with certain type of tools, you could put all the information about that tool in the files, and then your AI assistant will actually use that information to analyze the quality of the answers, right? Once the quality of the answers is analyzed, it gets passed on to Google Sheets. Here you go. And that's pretty much it. It's actually a fairly simple system here, and it gets sent out to Slack. Let me show you the Google Sheets. Google Sheets, here you go. So this is how it arrives. So this is a time when it came, when the interview was taken. And this is how long the interview took place, how long it took for the interview to complete. This is basically my answers. Human is me. was testing it. Bot is basically the bot. And then you see, it's a very fun way. It's basically when it asked me about my development experience, I said that I've been coding for the last 63 years, and it actually gave me a rank 2 out of 10. It said, yeah, you're not being truthful. So, and then basically it goes over every answer that I have, looks through this transcript, goes over every answer that I have, and then it provides me combined ranking for the interview. So this basically, so every conversation will have that. Assistant is just basically I just put it for myself. I was curious to see if it actually will provide the name of the assistant, but just writes assistant. And this is just cleaned up version of the interview. All right. And you could populate a lot of different stuff. You could add additional processing within it, like background checks and stuff like that, or Google searches. So there's definitely a lot of possibilities, but from the foundational perspective, this is how system works. And then in Slack, what you will have is this, right? So whenever you get a new alert, you will get this lights up, right? This area will light up, and Integromat, basically, which is same thing as Make, is basically will say that here you go, this is what you got. This is that you got a new person, submitted information, and this is basically the combined ranking and whatnot. So this is very simple system. If you like this kind of content that is very practical to the point, sign up to our Discord, ask questions there. I'm there every day. And I love helping people who are trying to make sense of this whole, cutting edge AI tools and how to actually apply in real life. I teach a lot. I learn a lot from a lot of you guys. So it's really fun experience. Sign up to our newsletter. It's a written blog on Beehive. The link is also in the description below, with links to all of the resources. So every video tutorial will come out as a blog that will have all of this information and links to the actual files. So if you don't know certain small details like make files, I could easily take that file and I could easily do this. I could easily export blueprint, and then you could easily then, this is basically this file, and you could import it into your Make platform, and you don't have to even do anything. The only thing you'll just have to change is the OpenAI API and connect your applications. All right. And this, my friends, is just the tip of the iceberg. If you are intrigued by possibilities with a tool that breathes new life into the hiring process, our bot is literally the tip of the iceberg, okay? So what I want to say to you guys, why settle for traditional when you can be trailblazing with the most advanced AI tools? Join our community for in-depth tutorials, expert insights, and power to redefine how you work and grow. Sign up to the letter, sign up to the Discord, and subscribe so you'll be aware of the newest tutorials and new tricks we develop. And hopefully you and me could lead the charge in the hiring of the revolution with confidence and acumen. Stay curious, stay savvy, and most importantly, stay tuned for the next chapter in our tech empowerment series. Until next time, keep reinventing the wheel, guys. And stay simpy, my friends. Yes.